Hi guys, just a quick one here on what can happen. It's another foreclosure thing that you guys might not have considered. I had a seller once that sold a property and the buyer had quite a bit of money down. I think it was $165,000 for the property. They put down, I think like $130,000. They had about $30,000 note or so. Well, the seller worked on a fishing boat, not the seller. The buyer worked on a fishing boat, so they paid payments. They got, their income once a year in chunks. So this one particular year, they'd financed it for a couple years already. They paid ahead like 4 months. And so they'd been paying all along, and like I said, they had a whole bunch of equity in it, and they were doing great, and their credit was pretty good, but it just seemed better to them to own or finance. So I get this call, and I, being so wonderful, I said I wouldn't take my commission until the payoff too. So I was getting payments all along, and I wouldn't take the full chunk until it got paid off. I do that a lot for people who do seller financing. I take my commission on the payoff. So my buyer called me and said, the seller's foreclosing on me. They've taken it to their escrow company and they're foreclosing. And I'm like, well, how's that happening? And she said, well, she'd paid 4 months in advance, but the contract between the buyer and the seller says that she has to pay on the 20th of every month, right? So she paid ahead. She sent in 4 of her coupons with her payments, and she paid ahead. But because the paperwork said you have to pay every month or they can foreclose, they started foreclosure proceedings. Turned out this particular seller had done this many times. Talk about a way to steal a large amount of equity. You pay ahead and you get penalized. A lot of people pay ahead and they don't even realize what's happening. So if you get a big chunk of money and you pay 6 months or a year ahead, the foreclosure proceedings could be happening while you're on vacation, or you're not paying attention to what's going on in your mail, and you think you're way paid ahead and you just think life's great, and these people are foreclosing on you. And this is what was happening. So I went in there and fought for them, and we tried to work it out, and I begged the seller and I said, this is wrong, here's what they've done. I talked to the title company, talked to everybody's attorneys, and then just tried to help them work with the lender to get refinanced and just get out from under it. And so, and of course, then I got paid too. But this can happen. This is another type of foreclosure that some of you folks might not be aware of. It's being foreclosed on for, being too good, paying ahead. So lots of tricks out there. SavvyBroker.com.